Hey everybody, Plushie here, and today we're trying a little bit of a different thing where we compare the two servants as we do before, but we narrate over it. Let me know if you like the narrated version or just me showing the clips. And today we're going to compare Sei Shonagon and Takasugi, and they're very interesting because they have the exact same attack stat, and of course they're both AoE quick archers, and people like to bring both of them up to compare when Takasugi first came out. And finally, this format of video usually gets quite a bit of traction and views, so I'm going to shamelessly sort of try to do something that will milk a little bit of content. Anyways, today's parameters is going to be both servants at MP1 and all of their skills at level 9 and the battery skill at level 10, so we try to keep things as fair as possible. So the first scenario is going to be them looping with an MLB K-scope with double Summer Scotty against sabers. And as you can see here, Takasugi goes first. He just has pretty decent damage overall with a double Summer Scotty. He loops fine. He doesn't need a Mystic Code actually in this case, and he does quite a bit of crit damage on the last wave. Okay, now let's get into Sei Shonagon. And first of all, we're already seeing a little bit of a problem here because her battery skill is tied to her quick up. And of course, Takasugi's attack up is also tied to his battery skill. But quick ups usually affect your refund a lot more than just a mere attack up. And you can see here Sei Shonagon refunds really not a lot of MP. And in this demonstration you can see that she actually does need the extra 20 MP charge from the Mystic Code, and she almost needs the entirety of it. So you can see here pretty clearly that her looping ability is a lot worse than Takasugi in normal situations. And of course, when you compare damage, we should look at Takasugi's wave 3 and Sei Shonagon's wave 3 because that's the wave where both of them have all of their steroids activated. And Takasugi obviously wins, and the difference should be even bigger technically because it's only 2 enemies, and when you're measuring in the 3-3 node, each enemy is going to have a damage difference. So Takasugi, if we're talking about 3-3 nodes, he's going to have even bigger of a damage advantage over Sei Shonagon. Another thing is how much more flexible a 30 MP battery is compared to a 20 MP battery. It works with a lot more numbers, such as a maxed out Pen 2 skill, Mage's Association Mystic Code, or Oberon Skill 1. All very common things you might be using in terms of double Scotty looping. While Sei Shonagon's 20 MP battery is really awkward to use on turn 1 because there aren't that many 30 MP charge effects to pair with it. In this demonstration, since Takasugi did not need a Mystic Code in the K-scope situation, here you can see he can instead use a 50 MP start CE and the Mage's Association Mystic Code on turn 1 to use his battery on turn 1 and then loop instead with better damage. And of course, if you have him at max out of pen 2, this is even better. But of course, the elephant in the room, Takasugi, doesn't have any anti-trait power mods, while Sei Shonagon has 3, so obviously the Shadow Servant and the Neutral Servant aren't actually going to be triggered that easily in normal circumstances, but Man trait is a very common attribute even beyond Servants and in farming nodes. So let's take a look at this case where they both face off against Enforcement Knights, which are Man trait enemies in Camelot. And here you can see on wave 2, all of them activated all of their skills, and the damage disparity is really clear. Sei Shonagon beats out Takasugi by 200,000. They're also still both equipping K-Scope. So yeah, this is going to be Takasugi's biggest weakness, where he can't really push his MP damage beyond a certain number because he doesn't have an anti-trait power mod. And finally, here's a little bit of an interesting one where you compared their critical damage. They're both Buster crits, they both hit Mighty Chains, and for Sei Shonagon, Shadow Gawain is a Shadow Servant, so she gains 50% power mod, and Takasugi, of course, he stacks 30% critical damage up every time he MPs, and this is after he MPs 3 times. So obviously, you know, I don't think this is a surprise that Takasugi beats out Sei Shonagon's critical damage by quite a bit, despite Sei Shonagon having a power mod bonus, which should scale really well with Summer Scotty's critical boost compared to Takasugi's additional critical boost. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of a fun comparison. And does this mean anything? It probably doesn't. And hopefully I can give more insight into Takasugi as a character in a upcoming video, which is the FGO Hot Takes Takasugi. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one, and good luck for pulling for a Takasugi.